Hey, you all, Mayor-elect Sheffield, and today was such a special day. During the campaign, I met a mother of three who approached me at a community event and told me that she was sleeping in her vehicle. We stayed in contact with her because she really touched me, understanding what she was going through and what more we can do to support her. So we placed her in temporary shelter, but today we had the opportunity to provide her with a new home, 6 months free rent, toys for her children. And when I saw the young boy, her son, walk into the house crying, saying that his prayers had been answered, Christmas. It just filled me up with so much joy.
Hey.
We are all part of various organizations, and I guess I have the honor to be the one to hand you the keys to the new place.
What? What? Oh.
These are yours.
What? Oh my God, thank you. Yes. Oh wow. Oh my God. Oh. This is such a blessing. No, you can cry. This is a time where you can cry. It is a blessing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, wow. Amen.
Early Christmas gifts and everything early.
This could be the room where my parents can sleep in. I feel blessed. I never knew I was actually going to get a house. I thought we were going to be on ration for all of eternity, but turns out we finally got a house.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
Meet you too.
Yeah.
Can I show you something real quick?
Yes,
I gotta.
I choose that room over there.
Let me see it real quick. Show me one.
This one.
You know who's killing you?
Yes, she's getting big.
Yes, she got so big. Look at her. Yes.
I'm Naisha Foy, and I've been homeless since June and in the shelter since September. And I am truly grateful for the mayor for helping me get a home of my own. It's amazing. Now my kids can enjoy a Christmas in their own home, and my baby can take her little first steps in a home of her own. I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm ecstatic. And it feels amazing.
And so I want to thank Skilla Baby, Plan B, Bedford Development, and everyone for coming together to make sure that this family had a home and an amazing Christmas this holiday season.
There we go. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that what you just watched, what you just had the opportunity to witness. First of all, let's give a big round of applause to our Detroit Mayor, Mary Sheffield, for what such an amazing holiday gift to that family in Detroit, you guys. I am Detroit to the bone. I am Detroit to the bone. So to see our amazing, incredible Madam Mary Sheffield, the new mayor of Detroit, to see her and I believe it was Skrilla Baby. I hope I'm saying that right. Donate and get the family the home rent free for 6 months was just absolutely fantastic. So one more time for Detroit Mayor Mary Sheffield and that amazing gift to that family. I'm super I don't know what's going on over here on Instagram, but I am gonna end it. Come over to YouTube, you guys. I was super distracted trying to get everybody situated, but this will just be an intimate evening. Welcome, X. Welcome. Oh, I was about to say Facebook. We're not on Facebook anymore for a minute at least. Welcome WIRF.TV YouTube. And of course, welcome LinkedIn. You are joining me for a fantastic evening, Nights with Nicci. I know we were a little late getting started, but I wanted to share that with you guys because I am super proud of my city. I'm super proud of Madam Mayor Mary Sheffield. There's a lot going on in the city of Detroit right now. I don't know if you have been paying attention, but there's some with this light, I'm sorry. There's some really cool things happening in the city of Detroit. There's some really exciting things happening with the city. And I'm just proud to be a native Detroiter. So first off, before we get too deep in it, am I okay as far as audio is concerned? Can you guys hear me all right? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Nights with Nicci. Last night we had a good time. Last night we had a room full of people who were really excited about sharing space together, and I absolutely love that. Let me go back here and check on my TikTok folks, you guys. I think I'm having a little bit of an issue. You know, we are a very, very independent production over here. Okay. Are we good? Yes, I think we're good. I hope you guys are having a great, what is it, Saturday? I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. I hope that your families are all healthy. I hope that your mind, your body, and your spirit is healthy. I know there are a lot of places on the internet looking to entertain you and captivate you and give you compelling content. And I'm just really grateful that you chose to be here and hanging out with me on Nights with Nicci. So, hey, Gag for Your Life. Hey, Firebomb TV. Hey, Mohammed. Hi, Phoenix Rising. I see you guys. What's up, beautiful people? I don't have my glasses on. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see the fine print. You guys, I will be turning 56 years old in July. I am, every bit of a 56-year-old woman, and I'm just grateful. I just have to say I'm really grateful because there are so many people who didn't make it to 56. It is no secret I've dealt with a lot of loss and a lot of grief over, it's been a minute. But I think it really started for me, like started rocking and rolling on the grief train in 2015 when Maxie passed away. That was when it was, really very difficult for me. And I learned how, I guess it was going to be a part, of my life. When you lose somebody that you really love and somebody really close to you, it was the most devastating loss of my life. I've talked about that before. I was in a really dark place. I've also talked about that. I haven't talked specifically about the dark place because I'm going to share some of that stuff with you all. But yeah, it's difficult when you are trying to process grief and you are in the public eye. And it is also difficult when your livelihood depends on you performing and showing up. You know what I mean? Like, on the one hand, we're blessed that we have the opportunity to have a career where we can entertain people and, have moments of a lot of success. But, there's also those times when you're just a human being and human things happen and, family members and loved ones get ill and pass away, and you still have to show up. And you still have to show up in your, hey, everybody, welcome to Nights with Nicci face. And, sometimes I wonder if it is a blessing in disguise to still have to show up through grief. And the reason I say that is just because it doesn't allow you to sit in it for too long. Like you just don't have a choice. You have to, when your livelihood depends on it, when your family depends on it, you just have to show up, and then when you show up one day, as hard as it is, and you go home and you cry, or you cry yourself to sleep, or you cry when you wake up in the morning or in the shower or whatever, but you get up and you're like, okay, now I got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to hustle. Now I got to grind. Now I got to make it happen. And for a while I was, told for many years that no, you have to sit in it. You have to sit in it. And the thing is that, like, I don't think you have to sit in it. I've experienced it enough. I'm not a grief expert. I'm not a therapist. I'm just speaking from the perspective of somebody who has been down that road. Please hit the like button as you guys come in. Please hit the like button and please give me hearts when you come on TikTok. Please and thank you. Um, let me try to swing in some of these Instagram people again real quick, you guys. Well, this is just too much. Matter of fact, let us just keep it intimate. They're gonna have to figure it out. They're going to have to come on over to WIRF.TV YouTube channel and holler at your girl, because all of this other stuff, these lights driving me berserkers. But yeah, I've not being a grief specialist or a therapist or anything along the lines of that. It is very interesting how I've discovered that you do need to stay busy. And you do, well, I do. I don't know. Some people may need to sit in it. Maybe for some people, the solution is let me just sit in this and let me just grieve for a year. But it's like it doesn't stop. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't stop. And the other part of it is, I just think that the distraction from it, for me, work is always a distraction from grief and disappointment. So I do absolutely have very healthy conversations with people. And I've talked to a few different therapists, a few different people who are versed in how you navigate it. And I've gotten different opinions, I even heard Oprah, I want to say, I'm paraphrasing, I might not have the whole thing, but I just recall her saying something like, distract yourself from the grief, doing something that you love and doing something positive. So, at a time when I think the world is really processing a lot of grief, the world is really processing a lot of shit that all of us wish were not happening. But the cold, hard reality of this here life that we live is that it is inevitable. At some point, you are going to come face to face with grief. At some point, you're going to come face to face with what feels like the most debilitating, breathtaking, awful experience of your life. And you might have a few of them. So, is it the one or is it just par for the course? I don't know. Yeah. Anywho, I really appreciate you guys coming in here. I really appreciate you guys sharing hearts. Yes, I'm representing y'all. I done told y'all a gazillion times. I think I have more Detroit merch than NT by T honey. I really do. Because I'm just your Detroit girl. When it comes to Detroit merch and Detroit things, I'm just your Detroit girl. A lot is happening in the media and in the press, and I'm happy to say that one of the things, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to unpack. Oh, we got a lot to chat about. But I'm happy to say that, hold on, can I get this? I don't think, I'm going to have to play it. I'm going to have to play it from my phone and show it to you guys from my phone because I did not download it. Charge it to my head. Charge it to all the fire. I always tell my husband, he's like, look at your desk. You got 5 pairs of glasses and 8 bottles of water and whatever. And I'm like, I got so much on my brain, honey. She's doing a lot. But I do want to talk about our young, beautiful, amazing sister, Rizzy. Rizzy is a social media influencer who, unfortunately, was bullied to the point of feeling like she didn't want to be here anymore. And again, I want to be careful about how I approach this conversation because, it could be triggering for a lot of people. And also, I don't want to go pointing the finger or blaming specific people. Like I don't want to say, oh, it was the people who were, bullying her in on TikTok, because we don't know the circumstances. We weren't there. We don't know. Obviously, she, had to be dealing with something, pretty deep. And it just brings, to mind for me a really important conversation that we need to be having with our kids about social media. And not just our kids, shit, some of our friends, grown ass 50 plus, 60 plus, shit, some of our parents. Oh my God, you on the Facebook? Listen, Linda, It ain't just the kids that are out here in these social media streets believing the toxic shit. And by toxic shit, I mean, you know, we all want to be liked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you get to a certain age where you want a lot less to be liked because you know what it is. But we all want people to, to like us and to say nice things about us and stuff, right? And when you are already dealing with mental health, allegedly, um, because we don't know for sure. Um, when you're already dealing with stuff, it's just really extra difficult to navigate social media and um, the false narrative and the images and the filters and shit, that make you feel like you are not enough. And when you already have mental health issues, and, I'm kind of, let me choose the right word because this is a sensitive subject. I'm very familiar. I'm very, very, very familiar with navigating mental health stuff with people around me, people in my family, folks I know, right? Because a lot of people struggle. A lot of people, I've had my own issues. Thank God I haven't had them to the degree where they have not been manageable for me. But I know a lot of people going through the shit and it's not really easy for them to handle it at all, right? And these are people who are adults who know that social media isn't a real place. You know what I mean? These are people who aren't posting in social media for, praise and adoration and applause, right? These are people who live their regular everyday lives in corporate America who suffer either clinical, situational forms of mental health challenges. And I just think that it's really sad that we as a community of people who are exposed, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button and please give me some hearts. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to play a commercial and then I'm going to come back because I feel like I need a few more likes and a few more people to send this video out and retweet this video. And I'm going to take the chance of just promoting Divine 9 TV. I'll be right back in a minute and a half.
The timing is divine for real talent to shine, real stories to be told. Watch it all unfold. It's time to set the stage for greatness to be made. Time to prove that we can uplift and entertain. Shows that make you laugh and some that make you cry. News and information to help you find out why. Music, food, and fashion fill you shows with divine inspiration. Honoraries in my HBCU. We got R&B divas, we got R&B kings, R&B live performers in a film called Broken Things. She speaks live divas and cocktails, the brand new musical drama. It Girls Diary of a Diva is coming back all new. A short film, social conflict, producing curtains too. From the bottom up, Boulay Central, social conflict and D9 News. Yeah, subscribe and you'll see the power of Divine 9 TV. How it helps community rise up and shine. Owned by the culture, led by the divine. Let's rise up and shine on with Divine 9 TV.com. Owned by the culture, led by divine. Let's rise up and shine on with Divine.
All right, y'all. I love that song. I think that is just the best little theme song ever. And I love what it represents. And I love that we have been overwhelmingly positive in our responses on Divine 9 TV. You guys are signing up for it. So, guys, I want to get into a little bit more into this story and give it a little more context because we touched on it last night, and it is Thank you guys. People are asking about my lipstick. Okay. Y'all almost don't have to ask. Let me do another really quick glam black woman owned business situation, right? This, my loves, is the lip bar. And she is from Detroit. And let me promote this color real quick. Auntie got to put her glasses on so she could see. All right, because I can, you know what I'm saying. It's that backlight. Oh my gosh. I'm so used to I can't see shit. Go to the lip bar and I'll figure out what the color is and I'll put it in there for you guys. But let's not move away from this very important conversation about mental wellness and mental challenges. So Riziki is her name. She's affectionately known as Rizzy in social media. What happened to Riziki Lanray? We're just gonna call her Riziki because I don't know how to pronounce her last name and I don't want to mess it up. But police are looking into the TikTok star's DEATH after troubling claims. Police are investigating the death of TikTok creator Riziki after her passing sparked widespread concern online. Fans have raised troubling claims involving bullying and possible suicide. Though authorities have not yet confirmed the cause, that there still is a question. Supporters are mourning, and there is a question of whether or not she was suffering from mental health issues. Police in Alabama are working to piece together the circumstances surrounding the death of TikTok creator Riziki as questions continue to spread rapidly across social media. The Montgomery Police Department confirmed it is investigating her death, which occurred in mid-December following a wave of online concern and speculation from fans who followed her closely. In the days since her passing, social platforms have been filled with posts from followers searching for clarity. Many pointed to troubling moments from her online presence and raised concerns about persistent bullying. Authorities, however, have not confirmed any cause of death, and several of her loved ones have declined to speak publicly as the investigation remains open. According to police, investigators are reviewing the facts surrounding her death and have not released further details. Reports circulating online suggested that maybe she died by suicide during a live broadcast, but law enforcement said those claims could not be verified at this time. There are a lot of things that can't be verified at this time, and I get it. I get it. I've been there. It took us a very long time to figure out, what the actual cause of death was for Maxie as well. So it just reminds me whenever I hear about a woman of color, a young girl, anybody, but particularly in our community, it just feels like things happen not just feels like things happen in our community that would never fly in other communities. I think about the amount of time it takes for certain things. I mean, I think about the young lady in the hotel. I don't want to get to messing people's names up, but y'all remember the young, beautiful sister who went missing. Kamik. I cannot think of her name. I'm bad with names, y'all. But there was an investigation on whether or not there was foul play in the hotel, whether or not her friends had anything to do with it. Please hit like as you guys come in. If anybody remembers her name, please let me know. She is, hold on. See, I have to say people's names. Say her name. My husband knows exactly who I'm talking about. Young. Kanika. It wasn't Kamika. It was Kanika Jenkins. You guys remember Kanika Jenkins? And all the time and shenanigans it took to get a real clear explanation of what happened with her. I've been there. I've been waiting, by the phone to hear back from the coroners and to hear back from, the people to find out what happened to somebody I love. And it's a horrible feeling, you know? So I understand her family being quiet. I understand the authorities actually wanting to have a thorough investigation before they say anything publicly. But what breaks my heart in these situations, you guys, is I know that a lot of times the reason, and I've been on this whole like this topic of being shadow banned and not having the reach for the audiences that we have worked our entire careers to build, right? I'm just saying, right? And by our entire careers, I mean we've paid the dues. We have fan bases out there. We have people who want to find us, you know, want to support us. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, the gatekeeping in media and social media in particular prevents us from being able to get messages and information that really could help save people, that really could help improve what is going on in our communities. I don't want this show to be necessarily a repeat of last night because, you know, we went kind of deep into the whole see Dolores Tucker of it all, right? But I have to say, you know, it's unfair that so many horrible things happen to women, not just Black women, all women. But we get it. Y'all saw my shirt from yesterday. Shout out to Higher Heights. Yeah. You know, white woman catches a cold, we catch pneumonia. You know what I mean? Just when it comes to the lack of empathy, the lack of opportunity. I mean, for God's sakes, look at what they did with DEI and look at what they've been trying to do with the HBCU. So it's just, you know, it's when we see things like what we're experiencing with Riziki, and, you know, quite honestly, what happens with a lot of our people, you know, both men and women. Because like I said yesterday, Rob Reiner and not, I feel terrible, the Grammy Award winning opera singer whose son unalived him. I can't think of his name and I hate myself for it right now, but y'all, I got a lot going on. And that's a shame. And that is probably the classic example of what I'm talking about. Here's somebody who in his space, doing it again, I'm not gonna let it slide by. If I'm gonna say Rob Reiner's name, I'm gonna say his name too. And I'm gonna remember it next time. I had just not heard of him. I wasn't familiar. Jubilant Sykes. Jubilant Sykes. Say his name. Jubilant Sykes. Say her name. Riziki. The fact that he experienced such a similar unaliving as Rob Reiner and his wife, and, you know, how many outlets, how many platforms, how many, you know, thankfully social media is there. And, you know, we are speaking out loud for Rizzy and, you know, others. But sometimes you don't have the information that would be vetted by journalists and people trained in the area of not just being first in the story and, like, you know what I mean? So then you have to rely on us, because I'm an amateur journalist as well, right? We get our information from social media, and sometimes that's not even what's really happening, which is why I'm, you know, going to slow walk this entire conversation about what happened with her, right? We're calling it suicide, but nobody has said that. No official source has said this is what she did. Her family has not come out and said this is what she did. But we're running with a narrative. And I don't think we're running with a narrative because we're trying to be messy or disrespectful. I just think it's like, oh my God, look at what happened, to this young Black girl. And it's happened to a lot of people. And so many people are suffering. And we have to amplify her voice and we have to say her name. But then we get misinformed about things, right? And it's the same concept of like, I really hate to go here, but I mean, shit, these experiences that we have had are the reason why we have these conversations. Please hit like, please share this video. Because no, we're not gossiping about silly shit. We're hopefully unpacking. We don't get to Michael Jackson and Tupac and Whitney Houston and all of them too, but we're going to save them for the end of the show. And I'm trying not to be super, super, super duper long-winded tonight. But you guys, please make sure you hit the like button as you come in. And also do me the kind favor of, after this, going to Divine 9 TV's YouTube channel at Divine 9 TV and following the Divine 9 TV YouTube channel as well. Baby, we finna do some Netflix, Paramount, HBO, Discovery, Warner Brothers merging up in these here streets between Word TV and Divine 9 TV with our 30 followers. But on a serious note, I think that is the reason why it's so important for us to have a place, right? I know it just feels like, oh, there you are with the agenda of promoting Divine 9 TV. Yes, I am. 100%. You need me, babe? Oh, that must mean a dog. Yeah, I am. And I am because when I see stories like Rizzy, right? When I see stories like Jubilant Sykes, when I see stories like this that rely solely on social media and they aren't necessarily vetted 100% in terms of the details, right? It makes me a little nervous because, we're just kind of getting the information out there with the best of intentions, but you don't want to be the girl who cried wolf or the boy who cried wolf. And this is the point that I was going to make. So I'm going to run back to that real quick. Welcome in, you guys. Welcome in. Lala Chanel says, adults are the worst bullies. They can be absolutely. Lightening up the room. Phoenix Rising. Thank you. Said you look 36. I'm about to be 56. So I appreciate you so much. Hi, Nicci. The show was recommended for me. God gave, oh, wow. Hold on. Gave me a dream featuring Maxie and Christopher Williams. Wow. Oh, wow. That's great. That's really cool. I mean, let's make sure we keep it super positive. Thank you, Firebomb TV. I appreciate you. Abso-freaking-lutely. Hold on, you guys. Yeah, so I feel like it's important for us to have spaces and places and also, to really give each other grace right now. It's, everybody's going through something. Mostly everybody is going through something. And I don't understand. That was, okay. 2 points I'm going to make. Point number 1 I'm going to make is this. When we come to social media first without having all of the information, right? A lot of times, even with the best of intention, it can be triggering for people who are spiraling, right? Because every time a person who is contemplated, some of these things that people are doing, see a story of another person doing it, some people, lean into it more, and the reaction that we as a community or social media has to somebody like Riziki, who allegedly unalived herself. We want to make sure that those people who are watching, what our reaction to that is, we're considering that in the things that we say online and the things that we do. At the same time, you don't want to amplify it so much so that people feel like, yes, when, if I do this, then I'm going to finally get the attention that, right? So it's a very sophisticated dance that I think only professionals should choreograph for people who are suffering, i.e., just, refer people to help every chance you get. One of the things I've always been told is that when people are spiraling, you cannot spiral with them. You have to understand that they're going through it. They can't really be in control of themselves or their faculties right in this moment. And you can't react to them as if they are, right? So many times people are like, she's just doing that shit for attention, or she's just bad, or he's just bad, or he's just crazy, or this just is, people really be going through shit. You know what I mean? And sometimes because we don't pay attention and take them seriously, people go deeper into that space. It really takes a person who is at their wits' end to vocalize or to say or to threaten unaliving him or herself, right? People don't just walk around doing that shit. I mean, I imagine maybe somewhere somebody thinks that shit is cool and okay, but for the most part, for somebody to fix their lips to say, I don't want to be here, like that, yeah, it gets very risky when you don't take them seriously. I'm just going to say that. So, the cyberbullying is a real thing. Our kids are really suffering from it in a real way. And I think that it is something that we need to figure out as the adults in the room. I really do, because we're not the mainstream and we don't have access to the resources the way they do. We have to rely on each other like we were able to do back in the day. Community and resources within community. And we have to hold spaces and places that don't allow us to get our message out to our community accountable. How do we do that? The same way we did it with Target. The same way the Detroit Housewives League did it. Right? You don't pour into organizations and people who don't pour into you and don't pour into your community. Because there is no real reason on God's green earth why CNN and places like that, and maybe they are, but I watch the news cycle, or now I don't really watch it. I just play it in the background, and I haven't seen Raziki's face come up, and I haven't seen Jubilant, the opera singer whose son did the same thing that Rob Reiner's son did. Like I see like a ticker on some of these other things, and on these platforms, I do not see the same information and care for our community when we suffer. And I think it's unfortunate that even in the social media apps, when you start talking about it too much, you get shadow banned. That's not right. It's not fair. And it's real. It's not just all in your mind. It's real. Because if you told a person at the beginning of signing up for one of these apps, you're going to have 3 million followers, but we're only going to give you access of about a few hundred at a time, pretty much for the entire time that you have the app. That's some bullshit. And the reason we have to support fan base and YouTube and these other platforms that allow us to share our authentic stories and information that can help our communities is because it's becoming the only space where these stories can be shared. It's becoming the only space where Riziki's story and what happened with her and the cyberbullying that occurred, and Jubilant's story and what happened with him and his son doing the same thing that Rob Reiner's son did to him. Those are very serious stories, and we deserve the opportunity to share them in their fullness so that other people who may be suffering have the opportunity to see that there's help available out there and that people care, and we can have some preventative conversations. Because right now we hear about a tragedy, we tweet about it, we repost about it in our own community, but there's no real follow through. And I said something yesterday, which, I'm sure a lot of people probably feel sounded a little defeated, right? When I said that I don't think that there's going to really be any real consequences, not like any real serious consequences on the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And it's just because I've been in this industry for a long time and I've met a lot of people who, not necessarily just all about the industry, but when you look at this country as a whole, power and money trump justice a lot of times. And not just, from a place of like, oh, everybody's corrupt. I'm not necessarily saying that, although we know, there are people who have nefarious intentions at all levels of everything in this month, right? But because you just have access to more tools and more resources and more better attorneys, and you can, you have more time to play the game, right? The orders and the motions and you just have an opportunity to build a better defense for yourself. You have an opportunity to really compete. And this isn't just about, I'm not just talking about my situation and IP stuff. I'm talking about in criminal things. I'm talking, do you know how many people are just sitting in jail right now because they don't have bail or can't afford a lawyer to get them? It's like crazy. The justice system and poverty is not, it's just not a fair situation, period. Just ain't. Because you can't afford to defend yourself. How can we expect that people with billions and billions and billions of dollars, and I'm all ears if you want to come into the chat and give me an example of why I'm wrong. Hi, Victoria. You always on time, sis. I appreciate you. I'm all ears if you want to tell me why I'm wrong. But I just don't believe that it's possible to go up against people, powerful people with billions and billions of dollars and relationships everywhere, all levels of government, and have next to nothing and win. I just don't think it's possible. And that's not about doom and gloom, pessimism, and peddling fear, because that's definitely not what I'm doing or talking about. I'm saying, what is the alternative if we know that you have to be wealthy in order to get truth and justice? You have to have financial resources or relationships with people who are willing to do it pro bono at the level that people who get hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it. The scales are not balanced at all. And when you have something as egregious and as serious as this, it's interesting. When I think about SA and this Jeffrey Epstein situation and power, it just immediately brings to mind many people that I know who have suffered, child molestation and sexual assault. I hate that we can't actually say the words, at least not here. And I think on Broken Things, which is a documentary that will be coming to Divine Nine TV in the spring, is a documentary I directed. And I'm really proud of it because we were a part of the journey to a serial child predator being incarcerated for the rest of his life. And when I say that it's almost impossible for us to get justice in these situations. I say it because I've watched real time how it goes. The victims, as long as they were Black, there was always a question of how honest and how real and whether they were making it up or what they may have done to provoke it, right? But when the victim became a non-Black person, and in this case of this film, there were several young Black girls who were victims of this serial child predator, and nobody cared. In fact, the subject of the documentary is Sarah Stokes from MTV's Making the Band and from my show From the Bottom Up. And the person who did it is her biological father. And he had been doing it for almost 20 years in the city of Port Huron, Michigan. And when Sarah went to the authorities to tell them about what her father was doing to her when initially it was her mother's boyfriend, and then the father came and took her out of the household. And I probably dumped the trailer in here for you guys to see it during the break, but he was just a horrible, horrible man. And the reason why the story resonated with me is because it hits very, very close to home. But in this moment, we're talking about Sarah and the girls in the community, the young women in the neighborhood. There is a friend of hers who tells a story about how Sarah's father lured her into the basement of their home because he was helping work her muscles out because she was running track, and he was giving the girls exercises and stretching and shit because of his military background. And he had these young girls coming to the house after school and doing things that were just awful. And the story is crazy because the girl says that Sarah's father had her come downstairs and was like, okay, you need to take your shoes and stuff off, take off your track jacket, whatever. I'm going to go upstairs and just get it off so I can be loose and whatever. And, he had a table or whatever it was. And she said she was down there, and she said the father went upstairs. And she was like, I was supposed to be meeting Sarah here. Where is she? And she said, Sarah came out of the darkness in the basement, like, leave now. My father is trying to hurt you. You need to leave this house. You need to go now. And the girl got her stuff and she ran. And when you see this moment in this documentary, it's going to blow your mind. And the girl got her stuff and she ran out. And Sarah ended up being put in a home because when she went to the authorities, he had done it to another child, and the child's parents, for her privacy, did not want to make it a big deal. So this is the only, he had done it to Sarah. Sarah told that he had done it to her. And then he had done it to another child, and the child was going to tell, but the parents decided for her privacy, which is totally understandable. And so this did not follow her for the rest of her life. They were just going to move to another place. So they moved out of the state. And when Sarah told the story to the authorities, the parents put her in a home. And the reason that no one paid attention to her, and it was so easy for her father to do what he did, is because at the time, people who worked in the city, in high places, were also under investigation for doing something very similar to young children. So all of it was power and corruption and allowing this to happen to these young girls. And you can Google around the time when Sarah was making these accusations, who was in these offices that were supposed to be protecting her and these other young girls in the community. And it's out there. It's there. But it wasn't enough to believe her. So she almost made the decision to do what Rizzy did. which is unalive herself. And it was a friend that came and brought her, I believe she said the song was Hero, Mariah Carey. And that song is what saved her life. So when I think about the power of what we do as creatives and how it impacts people's lives in positive ways, I can think about how important art and music and creativity, I talked about it at the top of the show, how you manage grief by being creative and pouring into that. So the fact that Sarah is here, the friend actually, I think she brought it to her on a cassette is the story. You guys are all in the docu. The documentary is very, very powerful. But let me tell you another interesting reason why I have my doubts about whether or not this Epstein thing or anything involving people at that level of power will ever see the justice that it deserves to see. Because I'm pitching this story long before the R. Kelly thing, before the Diddy thing, whatever. I'm pitching this story out. Please hit the like button, you guys. Please share this if you can. And if you have any questions or comments, we'll get into it in a minute. But I'm pitching this to networks. And, in fact, the opening scene when we discovered that her father was being accused of being a pedophile, child, and as Tony Stokes calls him. We mentioned it and it was like, no, we can't touch that. We can't get into that. And I'm like, no, but there's such a powerful story here. You got to be kidding me here. I'm pull this trailer up so you guys can see it. I'm like, there's a really powerful story here. Are we sure that we don't want to take advantage of the opportunity to, tell this story? And I was told to leave it alone. Not to leave it alone. That's not true. I was told that is not what we want to capture. What we want to capture is something different. All right, guys, I'm going to play this for y'all real quick. And then we're going to get back into, I know I went on a little bit of a tangent. I don't believe that, folks are going to be held accountable like that. I don't. I think it's good in theory and it would be absolutely amazing if they did, but I just don't see it. Take a look at this and I'll be right back.
Now that Sarah's dad is locked up, the world used to see me as the monster, but not understanding what the hell I was going through. I was going through so much. Sarah was going through so much. The kids have been through so much just dealing with her dad.
Like, how could you even look at yourself in the mirror? How could you even want to be alive after you touch your own child? And then Tony's mad.
Well, it was kind of hard when she was in jail, Tony.
Stop judging me. I'm tired of y'all judging me. I don't be wanting to mess my kid's life up.
No, you can't want all this to happen with Dad getting all angry and stuff.
This ain't just now all of a sudden we fight back and forth.
Dad doesn't just do that just to do that. Right?
He shouldn't do it at all. My daughters need to see a strong mother. And I am strong. I am strong.
Now that he's going away for 100 years for the 4 counts, not even including the second count that he got in the second degree for 4 in the first.
We're there for you no matter what situation in your life. I love you no matter what.
She ain't going with you either. Pedophile, child molesting ass bitch.
Tony, nigga, this bullshit.
Did you like my polo?
Once again, everybody goes off on me.
Living with someone that molested our mom.
Most of my issues and problems came with Sarah's dad and that side of her family, So now that he's locked up, hey, they're really putting the monster away. I'm not the monster. The monster is locked up, getting ready to do 100 years.
Sarah's daddy is a fucking animal. That motherfucker's a abomination. Do something dumb so I can get locked the fuck up and do something to him.
From being molested multiple times.
They have some kind of a past. That past do not dictate their future.
You know, hey, maybe I can start living again. I haven't lived in almost like 20-something years.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of broken things.
You guys, that is just a little clip, a little teaser moment from the documentary film Broken Things, which is the story of a really sick, twisted individual who did some really horrible, horrible things to a lot of young girls in the community. And Sarah Stokes was also a victim. And the thing is, you know, we tend to like really demonize people and like point the finger and laugh and bully them. And it's interesting because over this journey, you guys, we have so much footage because while the network didn't want to pursue this story, my partner, Lucia, and I did, and my husband and I. So we pulled our own resources together, pulled a skeleton crew, and every single time that bastard showed up to court, we were there. So I was simultaneously shooting a series, you know, that did not include what was going on behind the scenes and realities of what we were facing with this serial child predator that just happened to be Sarah's father. We got a lot of really, you know, powerful content, and we learned a lot during this process. And everywhere I pitched this story, the answer was, there's no levity. It's too dark. There's no levity. It's too dark. And I'm like, but do you understand that the story is that, and when you got, I'm not going to give it all away, but when you find out how this bastard got caught, first of all, if you've heard this before, just ride with me on it. And please hit the like button as you guys are coming in. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. Our series From the Bottom Up was partially responsible because Sarah comes from a small town in Detroit called Grand Rapids, Port Huron. And the little girl across the street, beautiful, beautiful, most beautiful piercing blue eyes and beautiful blonde hair. She had been being victimized by Sarah's father since she was 13 years old. And she got the courage to talk about it, and her mom got the courage to ask about it because Sarah said on our show she was molested by a member of her family, and she suffered, you know, a lot of her childhood and blah, 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 blah. And her mom asked Sarah's stepfather, like, who was Sarah talking about when she said that she was being molested? And it turns out that this girl and her family had evidence of this man's behavior, and it was horrible, right? And the fact that, you know, we could not say what was happening because for fear of being sued, for fear of this stuff not being true, because, you know, maybe she's just making it up. But when it crossed those racial lines, they paid attention and they investigated and they went to the house, and the things that they found on this man's laptop, the videos they found, the things that they found, the judge said it was one of the worst cases he's ever seen in his life. And the fact that our little show, and this girl who lived across the street from one of the stars of our little show, was brave enough to speak out and share her story and ask questions and call the cops. And they cared enough because of who it was to go over there and investigate. They locked that bastard up for the rest of his life. And I sat in the courtroom and watched it happen. And the fact that that isn't powerful enough for these majors to put the resources behind really developing this story. I've submitted to festivals. You know what I mean? And yeah, there are some things that need to be tweaked and cleaned up. And yeah, we'd love like the best editor ever. But the footage that we have, the journey that we've followed for these young women in the like, you know, there's a scene where they're sitting at the table having dinner, and Sarah and Tony have to tell their daughters that their grandfather is probably going to go to jail for the rest of his life for what he did. And the way the daughter says, I'm sitting here processing that he used to look after us and take care of us, and you had us living with someone who molested our mom. There's so many families out there that can relate to, don't say nothing about Uncle such and such or such and such and such and such, because, you know, right? That in those moments could be like, yeah, like, you know, like really process it. Like, why does it? There's so many conversation starters around this, but we can't really talk about it on YouTube. I mean, you know, I'm talking about it anyway, and people do, but like, how can you really fix the issue if everywhere you go, you meet a brick wall? I've invested so much time and energy and resources. My mother was the victim of childhood sexual assault and molestation, which is why I'm so passionate about it. Other members of my family are victims. And then what happens is when victims go through shit like that, right? And nobody cares and nobody wants to listen. And, you know, you're Sarah Stokes from Making the Band. This should have immediately been embraced as like, hey, this is a story the world needs to hear. This is something that people should see. We got experts, we got detectives, we got news journalists in this doc. But because it doesn't have levity, AKA it would probably not sit well with a lot of the people on that Epstein list that run these. I'm saying. Because how do you have a film about something so horrible that you're getting behind and supporting when, if what they're saying about these documents is true, at all levels, this is happening? So, you know, being someone who has been in the field, right? Being somebody who's been in this war to try to help get our women and girls the help and the exposure to other people who've experienced this, because there's, you know, storytelling and sharing stories and sharing information. It's how people's lives are saved, because doctors share information with each other about what drugs work and what medical procedures work, and telling stories about patients, and in politics, telling stories about how you grew up and telling stories about your community. Storytelling has always been a source of opportunity for knowledge and inspiration and education and shit, right? But for some reason, our stories are gatekeeping. I mean, the gatekeepers are dictating which of our stories and how our stories can get out to our communities and people who so desperately need to hear them, to know they are not alone, to know there are other people out there. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a sin and a shame. It's a goddamn shame. You know, and the fact that we have platforms out here that will show a film like the young lady said last night, with a mother teaching her son how to cook rocks and cook crack. But we can't find a film or a project. Please hit like, you guys. And I hate that I have to hustle and beg for likes, but you know, this is the world we live in. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. And you know, so my point of like, I don't think anything is going to happen with the Epstein. The fact that a lot of these young women are non-Black is going to definitely get a lot of mainstream media attention, right? It's definitely going to have, you know, all the groups come together and, you know, fight for these victims, right? But what about the victims in R. Kelly? What about the victims in Diddy? What about the victims? I mean, you know, the Cosby victims. Cosby went to jail for that. But it's just, you can't, like, this isn't making shit up. You can't unsee the fact that Black and brown women and girls and people just don't matter. And when it is that high up the ladder, No woman does. And I think that this might be an opportunity for unity between all women, which is what is needed in order to find a solution to this. I challenge all women to see this as a common ground, the same way I challenge all humanity to see the issue of mental health and how tragic these stories are ending up because people are bullied. And imagine the kind of person you got to be to bully somebody with mental health issues. Like, you got to be a crazy ass motherfucking person to tell someone allegedly what they were saying to Rizzy was, well, do it. If you're going to do it, do it, do it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's true. And again, we got to be careful about the sensationalizing shit because, again, we are not journalists and we're just repeating what we've heard. But it is sad when you hear that a young person or any person, but in particular, somebody who just maybe didn't have a person, well, maybe they did. I was going to say maybe didn't have a person in their life to help them navigate through it, a therapist or whatever. But, we don't know. We don't know why it happens. But I know that if we allow room and space for stories to be told and shared authentically and not just hyper focus on money and revenue and think more about people and the power of storytelling and sharing, maybe we can figure it out, right? Maybe there's something that happens to a lot of people who decide to do this that is a common thing. And the only way we find that out is if we allow more people who experience these kind of breakdowns to be transparent and honest and have a safe space to share. So I'm hopeful that when you look at what's happening with Rob Reiner and the issue of mental health, and you look at what has happened with other non-Black people when you talk about sexual assault, molestation, and stuff like that, that the world sees this from a much wider lens and understands that this is an issue that impacts so many people and that everybody deserves the opportunity to have a solution and healing. So I know this felt a little preachy and maybe dark. I've heard it quite often. And if I should have issued a trigger warning on the trailer, because it is definitely one that will trigger some things. But I feel like it was important to have that conversation because I've just been hearing for a long time that it's not important enough. That's when somebody says it's not enough levity or it's too dark or it's too heavy. Translation for me is that it's just not important enough, or some body doesn't want it to reach people. So they block. And blocking and gatekeeping is a real thing. Don't ever let anybody to tell you that people are just exaggerating and making shit up, because it's real and it happens a lot. All right, guys, I want to get into this real quick, and I hope that you can get into it.
Was spotted at the Palm Beach International Film Festival. Reportedly, he's house hunting there.
So what was that? That was a clip that the Katherine Jackson fan page posted. Allegedly, what I would assume is in response to all of these rumors that Michael Jackson was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm going to play it one more time because I should have gave y'all some context before I played it. But this is a clip from, I believe, Entertainment Tonight or one of those news outlets that shows him at a film festival. And they say very clearly, way back then, it's this grainy ass footage, that he was out there looking for a crib, not a baby or a child.
Was spotted at the Palm Beach International Film Festival. Reportedly, he's house hunting there.
Okay, so there's that. there's that. It was very clear then. This is not something that they just put out after the picture came up. It was always there long before the accusations of why is he in the picture with Jeffrey Epstein came up. Entertainment Tonight was saying that Michael Jackson was there for a film festival and to reportedly be looking for some real estate, which is allegedly what the whole thing was about anyway. And, I want to just say this. Where are we at time-wise? Okay, 111. I love you, Maxie. I love you and I miss you so much. 111 is Maxie's birthday. So whenever we see it, we have a little special acknowledgement. I love my sister. I want to talk about Black entertainers and celebrities, and we're going to get a little deeper into this conversation tomorrow. Yes, I'm going to try to be consistent and come every night, even into the holidays, just because we're building a platform and we need to show up as much as possible. And I see the difference between when I don't show up and when I do show up. Okay? The algorithm makes you work to get it back. But I'm so tired. And the Katherine Jackson fan page, posted this as well. We tired of let him rest. Let him rest. Please. Let Whitney rest. Let Tupac rest. Let Michael rest. Let Biggie rest. Let these people rest in peace. Let their families rest and have an opportunity to really level out if it's possible. His mother is the mother of the greatest entertainer that ever lived. Katherine Jackson is the mother of the greatest entertainer that ever lived. And her whole life, she had to watch the world pick her son apart. Her whole life, she had to watch her son give everything he had to a world and people and fans who didn't care about his real life, his real family. This woman gave her babies to the entertainment industry. And I don't mean gave them like that, like sold out and gave, but she shared, I'll say, is a better way to say it. She shared her seeds, her greatness with all of us. If anything, for her sake, for the sake of their legacy, they poured so much. And I mean, we're still listening to Michael Jackson's music, for God's sake. People are still getting wealthy. People forever in perpetuity going to be making so much motherfucking money off of Michael Jackson's legacy. So many people are going to be making so much money. And those that are not making money going to be having parties listening to his music. Going to be doing family road trips listening to his music. Going to be dressing up as him for Halloween, and the kids are going to be learning the moonwalk, and we're going to they've given us everything. He's not here to defend himself. He's not here to say, no, I wasn't at the party fucking around with these people. But we want to run with this narrative that it is a possibility that there is a connection there, and the man is in the ground, he's in the next universe, becoming Michael Jackson somewhere else. And yet we won't let his mother, in her golden years, be peaceful without lies about her son surfacing and narratives that just don't make no fucking sense, just everywhere. It's sad that's entertainment. It's sad that you feeding off of the souls of people who are no longer here. That shit is egregious and nasty and wormy and rolling around and slithering around on your stomach-ish. It's awful. To not allow Miss Katherine Jackson and the Jackson family to just be peaceful and to not allow Michael to rest in peace. All this hologram shit and AI shit, just like Martin Luther King's family said, listen, ain't no sweet way to say it. Leave these people alone. Think about it if it was your family member. These are human beings. We spend so much fucking time trying to figure out what happened to Tupac. Let me tell you something. The universe is going to figure it all out. Karma's a bitch. People gonna end up where they supposed to be. Even if we never find out the truth about what happened with Pot. Even if we never get the reality of who did what, who pulled this, who pulled up on this, who did that. People are where they would have ended up if the proof was in the pudding that they did it. So what is this bottom dwelling as low vibrational energy with these legends where we just keep feeding off of their souls like vultures? Let them people rest. Let their families rest. Let their legacies be great. Because nobody is doing that with Elvis Presley. And nobody's doing that with some of the other people that we done heard some things about. Their legacies remain intact. Like we talk about Marilyn Monroe as if, you know, I mean, she had mental health struggles too. You know, she had the things that she was dealing with addiction too. Not much different than Whitney Houston. And so, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a different lens put on it when it is not a Black person. They're allowed to rest in peace with honor and respect. And it's some fucking bullshit that we're not. And I hate it. I do. I think it's whack. I think it's corny. And I know that karma is going to fix it. See, that's the difference between people who understand the power of the universe and the power of karma and the protection of God. It's going to come back and get your ass. And if not you, there's this little thing called the sins of the father. Don't try it. The whole pay no attention behind to the little man behind the curtain. Look over there, Michael Jackson. You see him? Ooh, who? When is that? Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, both of them they're there with their children in those pictures. From what I could see. Stop. Let these people breathe and let their families have peace. Especially Michael Jackson, because come on. Would you want your mom dishonored in that way? Because at this point, all you're doing is dishonoring a woman who is a senior citizen. You are dishonoring a queen who deserves to be peaceful and not have to feel like, and I don't know that, I doubt that the video and the clip and the conversation comes directly from Miss Catherine Jackson, because she is probably a professional, unbothered. But like I said in the beginning, everybody wants peace and everybody wants to be able to, you know, to not have to defend lies, you know? Our community is really, really good at passing down messages when it comes to destruction and you know, amplifying, you know, brokenness in our community. And we have just got to get better at lifting each other and being more gracious and understanding we all struggling with some shit. Because we are. And if you pretend that you are not, then you are delusional. Because you cannot possibly watch what is happening in this world between the college campuses, babies not having food, what happened in Australia, what is happening in DC, what is happening in our neighborhoods. You can't just, I mean, you know that all this shit is happening and just be like good. And if you are, then you need to check your humanity. Because, yeah, we should all be trying to figure out ways to connect in a more authentic human way and not be so concerned with these fake ass likes in social media. Because I'm going to tell you something. Like I started off saying, some of y'all grown ass people need to know this. It's not a real place. It's not a real place. I think my eyelash is on crooked, but it's not a real place. So stop believing the hype. I am going to play another commercial. And I can't wait to share this one with y'all. It's cute. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. And this is from an R&B diva. Y'all, this makes me feel warm and fuzzy. I love it. Take a look.
Yes.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I just realized I'm probably not. Round of applause for Brave Williams. I probably don't have authorization for that, so hopefully I don't get a issue with YouTube. But it's so good to see. I love to see. Brave was in R&B Divas LA. She has a gym and she has a laundromat. I believe it's in Maryland. So let's give Brave another big round of applause. It's great to see her diversifying her portfolio and doing big things. And I'm a big musical theater girl, and she's drop dead gorgeous and she's super talented. So I just wanted to share that with you all. And yeah, so I'm not gonna go an hour and 40 today. I think we're about to wrap this thing up. But I just, I love having the opportunity to come and just unwind and sometimes unload and share important things that are important to me. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to try to get to some levity tomorrow because I know, we come on social media to be social, to have a good time and to laugh. And I think I'm going to give y'all a little Christmas holiday, little chantaradon. Might give y'all some have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart feel light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Y'all forgot I could do that, didn't y'all? Through the years, we all will be together. All right, we'll have some Christmas holiday karaoke moments throughout the week as we do these nights with Nicci. But I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. And I just want y'all to do one very special thing, which is to go to Divine 9 TV YouTube. Hit subscribe and you'll see the power of divine9tv.com. Owned by the culture, led by Divine. Let's rise up and shine on. It was created so that we could have a place where we could tell stories that really matter. Now, we not gonna really be doing that much cussing on Divine 9 TV because we gonna try to behave over there. But Worth TV will always be here for those of you who are fans of cussing, because this is a place for us to release our frustrations. Tomorrow I want to talk a little bit about Candace Owens, because listen, Linda, there was a point. I'm gonna play this commercial and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna get up out of here. But I'm gonna play this commercial because some of y'all need these. What's up, beautiful people? Happy Friday. So, got some goodies. These are Black Girl vitamins. And I've been seeing this all over the place, right? And I was like, I wonder. And then when we did our blackout or economic boycott of anything that was not Black owned, I ordered these because I needed vitamins. I literally ran out and I was like, nope, I'm not gonna order on my usual place that I order. I'm not gonna go to the vitamin shop. I'm not gonna go to all these places. Let me find some place where I can get vitamins that is a Black owned vitamin company. And I came across, I've seen it a lot, but Black Girl Vitamins. So I'm just gonna run y'all through the bag real quick. It comes in this cute little pouch. Of course, it came wrapped safely in plastic. But it came in this cute little pouch so you can keep them away from your husband and your kids and stuff. So everybody knows these are your vitamins. But I got the vitamin B12. I got the iron for the iron girlies. I got what is this? The sea moss. This is my first time trying the sea moss. And I know that Charmaine Bay and her husband have a sea moss company, so I want to order from them as well. But this was a part of the bundle, so I ordered that. And I ordered magnesium. And I ordered probiotics. Get yourself probiotics if you don't have them. And I have, what is this? The Cholesterol Control. Yes, indeedy. And then finally, we got the D3. A D vitamin is super duper important. So also, they're in my cabinet now, but it included some collagen, which I'm really excited to try as well. So I don't know if you heard about Black Girl Vitamins, honey, but I think you need to get you some. Take me through there. Take me through there. I'm excited. All right, guys, take me through there. Take me through there. Hey, Kato, come on, say goodnight to the people. Come up here and say goodnight. You gonna come say goodnight? Come on, boy. Come on, big boy. He's like, listen, you're not about to get me on camera because I saw what you posted on social media. It's supposed to be and stuff. You're not gonna say goodnight? Okay, you guys, Kato's not going to say goodnight. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight on Nights with Nicci. I hope you learned something. And if you want to see Broken Things, it will be available on divine9tv.com. So make sure you register, as will all 3 seasons of From the Bottom Up, which is the series that helped us catch that predator. And also, there you go, walking around the studio, y'all. And also, you guys, please make sure that you follow at Divine9TV's YouTube channel. And, please, tell a friend to tell a friend. Nights with Nicci is back again. I hope you guys are having a happy holiday. And if you or someone you know is suffering from any form of mental health issues or mental health trauma, please, there are so many resources available. In fact, if you go to my page right now, we just made a post with all of those resources. And the easiest way for me to tell you to go is to log on and follow Shanti Das, SHANTIDAS, at Silence the Shame. So I'm gonna get this theme music cracking for y'all and get y'all into a mood. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Nights with Nicci. Our Cash App is Fight the number 4 WIRF. Again, our Cash App is Fight the number 4 WIRF. All right, guys, love y'all. Peace.